Hello and welcome to Down and Dirty with Darci. I'm your host, Darci Smith, also known as Career Coach Darci. We are here to get down and dirty about careers, uncovering salaries, wild stories, backgrounds, and more from guests with some of the most eccentric professions each week. This podcast is presented by Onomy. Welcome back to Down and Dirty with Darci. I am here with Raimi. How's it going?
Woo, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It is like so windy where I'm at right now. So if you hear like crazy things falling, it's just branches falling onto my house. So sorry about that, listeners. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to talk to you about something that's been really important to me lately is that I can now involve myself in conversation with people that read books because I'm seeing in your background, you have like all these books. I think I'm a reader now. Like I think I can label myself as a reading. I used to read like only self-help and career-based stuff. And now I'm starting to dabble in the like story reading.
Ooh, that's my favorite kind. What are you reading? And what is your like reading ritual? Like, what does it mean to you now that you're a reader? What does that entail?
Oh, okay. So now instead of like watching a reality TV show before bed, I use my Kindle and I read a book and then fall asleep. So amazing. I must say, I don't remember a lot of what I read that night prior, but I just feel like it all come together at some point.
Yeah, your subconscious mind is taking it all in. So that's what counts.
Yeah. Right now I'm reading, it was, I think recommended by Reese Witherspoon, but it's the one about like the dad that disappears. And then there's like the daughter and the stepmom who like try and figure out like why he disappeared.
Ooh.
I forget the name of it. So this is a stupid way to explain the book.
Okay, but, sounds good though. It's like a mystery thriller type of book.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still early days. I also read a book called Every Summer After that I really liked.
Ooh.
About like a girl who like had like this love affair with this guy at the like cottage in Canada.
Okay.
So that was good. And then I did pick up one of those, what's that author that
Colleen Hoover.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that I knew that right away because
I'm embarrassed that I did buy it because I feel like it's like too.
Which one did you get?
The one that
It
everyone's
Ends With
read.
Us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because they're making it into a movie now. So you gotta get the before. Mm-hmm.
Blake Lively, right?
Yeah, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I want to read it so I can be one of those people that says like, oh, the book was better.
Right. Oh, okay. I totally get that. I haven't read it yet either, but I've seen it all over Book Talk. But I have a gripe with Book Talk because they have been recommending me things and then I read the book and I'm like, this was terrible, guys. What are you talking about? But I have found some good. It's very hit or miss. So
Didn't you read the Tomorrow, that book?
Yeah, that one.
You didn't really like it, right?
I didn't really like it. I hate to say it. I'm not going to go into details, but I just thought it was very cliche and contrived. But that's me. But I'm very picky when it comes to books and movies. And I'm very into fantasy. So maybe I just don't like that certain genre. So if you ever need a fantasy recommendation, and if you want like fantasy romance, fantasy smut, then I got you because that's my main genre.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe we'll get some of those recommendations because for me, I hate fantasy. So you hate me. I can like fully say, I mean, I've never read Harry Potter, but I have tried to watch the movies so many times and literally fallen asleep.
What?
I hate it.
Wait, you don't like any fantasy movies or books ever? You don't like...
No, I
get it because you love self-help books. You like to like reflect and better yourself, whereas I like to escape into something that doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, and I get that, and I want to feel that, but I'm like, not real. I can't fly on a broom, not real. So it has to be like a little bit realistic. Like, what was that Dungeons and Dragons show that everyone watches?
Stranger Things? Show?
No, the dragon one about like
Game of Thrones. Gosh.
Yeah, I was like, people are gonna kill me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead. Wait, this is great though because we have the duality that a podcast needs. We have the fantasy nerd lover and you're constantly like improving and we can share our methods.
Okay. I'll try and do better. Oh my gosh. Speaking of duality, sorry, this was a really weird segue, but it's a great name because it's the title of a song that I love from a band that I love called Bayside and I just went to their concert last weekend.
Oh my gosh.
So I went to this concert alone. And I just want to state that because I feel like people listening, they see these things on my like Instagram and they're always like messaging me and stuff. Siri just came up on my thing. I'm not saying Siri. And so they're always messaging me and stuff. And I'm like, you can do things. Like, I feel like doing stuff alone is so much fun.
It's
Like,
so
I
fun.
have the time of my life. And I don't know if you can see it, but I have a huge scratch on my forehead because I was moshing so hard that I fell a few times.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That brings me back to
Oh,
mosh pits, Warp Tour. Love it. I love doing things
I
alone.
love it.
It's
Yeah.
so nice. I mean, that's why, solo travel, there's nothing more empowering, even if it's not
Mm-hmm.
traveling, but just like going to a cafe by yourself, going to a concert by yourself. I love going
Yeah.
to the movies by myself too. I think it's just
Oh,
such a nice
me
little
too.
date for yourself, and it feels so empowering. I love it.
Yeah, but I have to have food. It's so weird because like if I go to a
Yeah.
movie with friends, like I don't really care about like getting popcorn or whatever.
No, no,
But for
no,
some
same.
reason, if I'm alone, I'm like, I need
This is my
candy,
treat.
popcorn.
Yep,
Yeah,
I need
I
Sour
need to
Patch
sit there.
Watermelon. I need it all.
Speaking of movies, if you guys haven't, you got to go back to episode 8 when we talked to Jimmy because Cocaine Bear is coming out Friday. I am so freaking stoked. Like maybe I will go alone. I don't
Oh,
know.
oh my gosh, we should both go alone separately and then like talk about it on next week's episode. Oh, I'm very excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you guys haven't listened, you have to go listen. It's literally still to this day my favorite episode. It's probably just cuz like I love the entertainment space, so it was so interesting to hear like what he had to say, but
Same.
it's literally about a bear. You've probably seen it everywhere. It was in like Super Bowl commercials, but like eating cocaine and it actually happened. So, I don't know. I'm stoked. So, anyways, go back
It's
and listen
gonna
to
be
that
a
and watch the movie.
fun comedy thriller. I don't even know what to expect, but I'm very excited.
Yeah. Okay, I have one more question for you. And this has come up a lot in my work life. Like back when I was in sales, it was always asked to me. And then just recently, I have like coaches that I use for my recruiting business, and they asked me to post what's your why? It's like a thing, right? Like why do you do what you do? What drives you? So like what's your why? And I feel like when I speak to people with kids, it's a very common thing to say like, well, my why is my kid, like I want to put food on the table and support my family and stuff like that. And like I don't think it really transcends as much when I say like I want to provide for my 3 dogs. I don't think that
No, I
See?
mean,
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah.
So I was really like the first thing that came to mind was like how much I love being a positive influence to people. So to me it was like I
Yes.
want people to feel joy when they like hear my voice or get these, pieces of advice from me, or I just want people to have fun. Like that was the end of it. Like that was my ultimate
Hmm.
what's your why? Like I have a whole post on LinkedIn about like just really being someone that's fun and enjoyable to work with, to be honest. Like that's who I want to be. So I'm curious, do you have something like what would you say your why is?
I love that. Okay, first, this is kind of like funny and a little bit depressing, but my mom told me when she was in her early 20s and she was feeling like, I don't have a purpose, that's when she decided to have kids. So, like, that's why I'm
Oh.
here. And then she's like, oh my gosh, that's my why. That's what fuels me. So I thought that's kind of
Yeah.
funny. But for me, I feel like it's similar to you. I honestly think that people live sometimes without realizing like you really only get one shot at this, so like why are you gonna waste that not doing the things that you enjoy doing and impacting others in a positive way, even if it's like the smallest thing. Even
Yeah.
whenever I like get in an argument with like my boyfriend or my friends, I always come back to like, is this really worth it? Like, who cares? Like, we are literally here, maybe even one more day. So, like, let's
Mhm.
just have fun. Let's be positive. Let's do everything we can possibly do in this moment
Yeah.
because all we have
Drop
is now. Mic drop.
I'm waiting. I'm like,
Yeah.
drop it. You're about to say YOLO, aren't you? You want to say it.
I
I know
want to
you
say
want to
it
say
literally
it.
is. It literally is YOLO. Drake,
Yeah.
he said it first. But that's
Did he say
why
it first?
I don't
Did
know.
I feel like he probably
He
got it from someone else,
mainstreamed.
but
Yeah, he
he
made it
mainstreamed
popular.
YOLO.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. No, I totally agree. I think it's really hard because I feel like on some level people have this a same like similar answers. It's like, well,
Mhm.
I either want to help people or whatever. And I did do a video about how I found it annoying when I was interviewing people when they would say like, I would say, why do you want this job? They're like, oh, I really want to help people. But I'm like,
Mhm.
we need to go like a little bit deeper, like really like what is
Yeah.
a motivator? What drives you? And honestly, if it is money, like that's fine. Like if you
Totally.
say like, I really need like money and I'm really incentivized by it, like that's fine. That makes
Mhm.
perfect sense. And I
But
think
I
it
would
kind of
say,
changes.
yeah, and even if money is the factor, it's like you want money because you want freedom
to
ultimately.
travel or to
Yeah.
have freedom.
So
Yeah,
like getting
definitely.
even beneath like, what do you want money for? Because mine for a while, I'm like, I want to make all this money. And then I'm like, wait, do I actually want the money, or do I want the time? Do I
Yeah.
want the freedom? Do I want the creativity? Like, that's what I really want. So it is a
Yeah.
very interesting
Yeah.
question.
Before we jump into the interview, I have one more piece of one more thing on this because it was really important to my career. I did a whole like practice where I wrote down what I wanted my life to look like instead of like, so basically what you're saying is like what the money's going to go towards instead of just
Yes.
wanting money. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of sitting here being like, I want to have a multi-million-dollar business, I actually asked myself what I would buy with those multi-millions of dollars and
Right.
then trickled it down back to like, oh, I actually only need to make X amount of dollars per year to be
Yes.
fulfilled and happy in what I need. I don't need to be making like billions of dollars. I mean, duh, nice. But like,
Right.
that's really what like broke it down for me. So like, if you're sitting there thinking like, I don't know where I need to be or where I want to be money wise, like, I have bills and obviously things to pay, but like think like 10, 20 years in the future and like write out like, do you want multiple houses? Do you
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to travel? Like there's different things that have different lifestyles attached to them. So maybe use that as like a fun practice.
Ooh, I
Because
love
for me,
that.
it was like, I want a house in New York, in Dallas, in Oregon, and in California. So those are
Ooh.
like, I have to be able to do those things
Yeah.
because so
And then you
that's
figure
my,
out how to build your life around those specific goals. Yeah, I love that. I'm
yeah,
going to do
like how
that.
much money I need to make to do
Mm-hmm.
that. And then it's also like I got down so specific to like I want to attend at least 10 concerts a year. I want to
Yes.
be able to fly first class for at least 2 of my trips. Like I had like so much detail into it too. And then I wrote out like how much each thing cost. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was like, okay, how much money do I need to make per year to do those things? And it
Love
was kind of
that.
a lot. So now I
Yeah.
have a real goal
Now you have a
though.
goal. Now you know, yeah, you know what you're working toward too. Like that's what makes it more real. I love that.
Hmm.
I'm going to do
Yeah.
that. I'm going to do that, and we'll check in
Yeah.
next week on that.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, we have to do the career column. So now it's time for the career column. Woo! You always had the whoa. Okay, you asked me the questions, and I'm gonna
yes.
give you some good answers here.
Yes. Okay. So we had two really good questions this week. The first one is, what should I do if I received an offer, but I'm still in the interview process with a different company that I like more?
Ooh, that's so tough. It would also depend on how far you're into that process, but here's just like a really good explanation of like what you can do right now is have the conversation with the company that you got the offer from and say, I'm so excited about this position. It's definitely something I'm highly considering and it's at the top of my list. However, I still am in the interview process with another company. And when I say yes to this job, I want to be 100% in and so ready to get started. So I would like to see that interview process through before giving you a final answer. Does that work?
Love that.
And then see what they say. And you can't, and that's, you're willing to, show your cards a little bit because you don't want to give up this other opportunity. But
Mm-hmm.
also like I've had this happen with a ton of clients and it's worked, that they usually say like, okay, but we really need someone to start within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Or they'll say, we totally understand that. Or if you need to go with that other offer, we get it. Like they're typically very understanding and they'd rather you that than accept the offer. And then they stop looking for people and
Mm-hmm.
then you quit or you obviously rescind later.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
was
what you
going to
do.
be my advice, was take the offer and then quit if you have to. Never listen to me. We've established that. Okay, the second
No,
question.
wait, Raimi, I not opposed to that. If it's what's best for you, I'm not opposed
Yeah.
to that, but it so depends on where you're at in the process. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's good. Good advice. This one is another interview related question. This person said, what is a good question to ask a prospective employer during the interview?
Okay, I'm gonna have two answers for this. One is just my favorite question to ask. So this way you have something tangible you can use at the end of any interview. And it's, what is something your team is working on currently that I can make an impact on? So then you get a better understanding of the role. You seem interested, a lot of great things. Another good question to ask is something really specific that came up in the interview itself. So when you get to that final end of the interview, you can ask something to show that you were paying attention, you were listening, you're curious about the role, and it shows some like creativity. Maybe they talk about either a specific task or a specific software. So you want to ask like more in-depth question about that creates better conversation. So those would be my top two.
Love it.
Yay. Okay, I have some workplace horror stories for you. So remember, you can you can DM your stories to me or to Down and Dirty Podcast, and we will read them here. So I have two for you today. Here's the first one. Once in my work softball league, this guy on my team got really drunk and somehow lost his work laptop. He reported it stolen to our IT department, and then he got a new one. And then a few days later, a Pizza Hut / Taco Bell combo store got in touch with us because he had left it there.
What? Wait.
He was like, so you got a whole new laptop and you had left your laptop at Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Show him the cards. Like, obviously not a very
a Pizza Hut Subway. Taco Bell combination store. Where
have you not been to one?
No. Where is this? In Nebraska?
Like Nebraska.
I don't know. I feel like we don't have those here. No, I actually think I've been to one in Michigan. I feel like that's kind of like, I don't know. That's so funny.
Our next horror story is actually from Reddit, because this was just so good we can't not share. Okay. Not a coworker, but a potential coworker. There was a guy who showed up to a technical interview wearing all sorts of bandages. He apologized, saying he had gotten out of the hospital. He had scabs all over his head. And during the interview, he would pick the scabs and eat them.
Stop. This is not. What? Stop.
There were 24 donuts up front for guests, and before he was let into the interview room, we found out he was picking up different ones, smelling them, rubbing them against his beard, and putting them back.
Ugh. Wait, why am I hungry now, though? What the heck? What's wrong with me? Ew. That's absolutely...
Needless to say, it was a hard pass. Hard pass on that guy.
My favorite word is heinous, and that is absolutely heinous. That's disgusting.
Disgusting.
Abhorrent.
I was reading it and my jaw was on the floor. I was like, how what? I just feel like it can't be true. It can't be true.
I don't know. There's
people
some weird,
disgusting.
There's some weird people in the world. That's beyond an ick. That is just, I have no words.
Yeah, people are gross. End of story. But you know who's not gross?
Our guest of this week.
Our guest.
Yeah, tell me about the guest. This was such a fun interview. Please share about.
Yes. Okay. Our guest, the essential Jason Nelson, he comes to us with a saxophone. He is, I always want to call him the sexy sax man just because I love that saying.
He should brand himself as that.
I think there is someone named that on YouTube. But no, he's the high energy sax guy. Like that's who he is. Super high energy. He actually played a little bit for us at the end. So be sure to listen to the full interview. But what he does is he actually performs at weddings. So he like goes in with the DJ and he performs like top 40 songs with the DJ playing his sax. It's like plugged in. It's like, you got to just like,
he brings so much energy. Instagram. Yeah. It's like, you would never think that this could be a full-time job. I mean, you've seen those people sometimes, but yeah, this is his full-time job, which is so cool.
I've never seen it. Like I've never been at a wedding where this has happened. So it was so cool to hear about it. And spoiler alert, he was on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So he talks about that too.
Yeah. He was on that crazy wedding episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good interview.
So let's get into the interview. Jason, or better known by his stage name as the Essential Jason Nelson, is 28 years old, lives in Hoboken, New Jersey, but is a Jets fan, not an Eagles fan. He specializes in performing high-energy saxophone with DJs for weddings, private events, and nightlife. He has a bachelor's in marketing from Rutgers, and he left his 9-to-5 in marketing back in 2020 to pursue his business as a high-energy sax guy, full-time. If you check out his Instagram, you'll see him playing hit songs, and he plays the piano as well. Welcome to the pod, Jason. Let's get down and dirty.
Woo! Thanks so much for having me.
Did I miss anything good?
No, that summed it up.
I loved going through your website. I was looking at all the videos and I was like, I can't even imagine having this at a wedding. Like, can you give us a breakdown of like what exactly happens from like when you get into the wedding, like what your role is as the high energy sax man?
Sure. So one thing I always love to say is that no two events I ever play are the same. They can be at the same venue. I can work with the same DJ, but it's going to be a different flow in the night because everybody's different, you know? And I kind of feed off the energy from the guests. You know, I like to say that, I don't care. Okay, I'm just gonna flat out say it.
You gotta say it.
If you are a future client of mine, I have stalked your social media.
Yeah, okay.
And
As you should.
I do that because I can quickly get a feel based on your Instagram, your Facebook, your Zola, the Knot page, whatever, what kind of vibe you're gonna want. You can tell me, but I've also been doing this for a while now, so I can pick up on that quite a bit. So if I see on someone's Instagram, they had their bachelorette party in, let's say, Scottsdale or Miami or Austin, Texas, or Charleston, or all these, fun, lively cities, I know that you're going to have a wedding where you're used to partying. And because you're used to partying, when I get in your face and all of your guests' faces, you guys are going to know what to expect, and you guys are going to feed off the energy with me. And that makes my time and job easier because I don't have to fake it. I don't have to fake my excitement because I'm genuinely just partying with you guys and having a good time.
I know. I was like watching Viz. I'm like, I want him to come to all of my parties and just be there. But like, I have never seen this on, because I'm from the West Coast. Do you feel like it's more of an East Coast thing?
From my week so far in LA, yes.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate that when I first started out and first realized that Sax with DJ and Sax with DJ for private events and nightlife was a thing, it has exploded over the past 20 years or so in the greater New York City area. When I first started out, I had met one particular DJ company, and then I started searching around for more DJ companies on Instagram and Google to just see what else is out there. And I got so many different hits of companies in the area who were offering basically advertising high energy weddings because people in the greater New York City area like to party.
Yeah. That's what I'm like, I was watching, I'm like, why have I never been to a wedding like this? So take us back to the beginning. Like, how did you even get into this? Like, what sparked the interest? Have you always played instruments as a kid? How many instruments do you play? Give us the rundown.
Yeah, so I have been playing the piano since I was about 8. I took lessons privately, and then I love to tell the story of in 3rd grade, because I was taking piano lessons, but in school, in music class, they teach you songs to sing and everything. And I guess my music teacher, she somewhat noticed that I started understanding notes a little bit better. So she called me in front of the class, and I faced the class. She played a note on the piano and said, "What note is this?" And she went like, let's say it was a C, it would be like, ba, and I would say C, or, she kept on doing that. And she was like, "You have perfect pitch." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool."
Yeah.
So later on, once I knew how to play the piano for several years, fast forward to 5th grade band, I chose to play the saxophone because in 4th grade, we played the recorder in school. And the songs that they would teach us to play on the recorder in school were, Hot Cross Buns, Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah.
I would play by ear the songs that we were taught how to sing, which were a little bit more complex, just by ear on the recorder. So
that's wild. So you can just listen to the tune and be like, yep, this seems like it's just going to come out of this little pipe thing. Like that?
Yeah, I really can't describe it, but that's what I started doing for the saxophone as well. And
oh my gosh.
It's really interesting because when was YouTube starting to become popular? 2007 through like 2009 era?
Probably, yeah.
That's when I started being really exposed to mainstream pop music. I would go to middle school dances with my friends and hear like a Chris Brown song or a Lil Wayne song and be like, I want to play that on the piano and saxophone rather than the songs that I was taught to play in school. So I started finding that there were a lot of cover artists on YouTube covering all these songs, like Apologize by One Republic.
Yeah, I remember that era. Oh my God. I used to sit in my room and just like listen to all those.
They were all bangers. I miss that era in music so much.
Yeah. And they'd just be like in their kitchen, like playing. Did you ever jump on the YouTube train?
So I posted a few videos back in the day, but something that I wish I knew back then that now I stand by is like, there's always going to be an excuse for anything. And for years and years and years, I'd seen all these creators blow up on YouTube who used to post cover videos. And I used to say, even though I might be able to do it myself, I don't have the equipment for it. Or, I don't have someone to take the videos like they do. And I really didn't start because I made excuses for myself.
Yeah, that's like exactly, I mean, everything I preach when it comes to career coaching and stuff. I'm like, you could quit your job and find something else, or you could do these things, but you're choosing not to. Like, there's a choice there, and you're making excuses as to why. So, completely get that. So, okay, so you're going through, I have a question. Were you a band nerd, or like, were you cool? Be honest.
Okay. I was a little bit of both. I was a little bit of both because I truthfully didn't feel as connected to the band nerd community. I wasn't in marching band, and I have a lot of interests instead of being just obsessed with one. For example, I wanted to go to the football games with my friends instead of necessarily being in the marching band and not being able to watch the games and do stuff after and before and whatnot. So I kind of did a mix of a bunch of different things.
But through high school, you were in the band?
I was in wind ensemble, which was more of the class of band class.
Okay.
And we would perform more of like the classical wind symphony kinds of songs instead of the marching band was like an extracurricular that you would sign up for, and it took up a lot of time. And also for years in high school, I didn't work over the summer, so I kind of hung out with friends, and I knew that band camp was pretty much all of August of summer. And at the time, summers was like my sacred time to just not do anything and chill.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to devote all that time to something that I really didn't think that I was necessarily passionate with.
Yeah. So why did you go to school? You went for marketing, right? Not for music?
Correct.
What was that choice? Like why?
I knew I wanted to study business because I was decently good at math in school, and I took accounting courses, and I actually thought I was going to major in accounting.
Boring.
Very glad I did not.
Yeah.
But I learned in college that I became interested in marketing because I love trying to understand people. And I think the psychology behind people is so fascinating, and why we buy certain products and services. And I think it's really fascinating. And I'm very glad I studied that, because if I didn't, I don't think I would have, I guess, gained the experience and the knowledge that it's okay to do something that's not as safe. And what I mean by that is marketing can be a very safe career, but accounting or finance is even safer. So I'm very happy that a few years into college, I realized that, you know what, I'll do something that's not like by the book. Try to take a different spin on that.
No, that's cool. I mean, people have passions and they want to like chase after them. Tell us about after you graduated, you got like a regular job, right? 9 to 5 type role. What were you making in that role? And then what was your kind of decision making to be like, okay, I can do this full time. I can be like, what do you call I guess professional like musician? Is that what do you call yourself?
So even though technically I'm a musician because I play instruments, for years now being in the industry, I haven't referred myself as a musician because I think what I offer is more. I offer the experience and the emotion. And
I agree.
A lot of what I do and my goal for every event I play, especially weddings, is I reverse engineer it. And I am thankful for the reviews that I get from my brides and grooms, and they say it's the best night of our lives and you were a huge part of it. And when I hear that, I'm truly humbled. But because I hear that from my clients, I try to think and go into every event I play thinking, how can I continue to deliver on this? How can I make this the best experience and the best night of your life? And it doesn't always have to do with the exact notes I play. And that's where I kind of separate being a musician from being a performer and entertainer.
Yeah, that makes sense. So performer, when you meet like a random person, let's just say at a bar or something, they're like, hey, like, what do you do for work? What do you say?
I say I play the sax with DJs for private events and nightlife. And they're always like, what the hell is that? And then I kind of go into it.
And then when you say nightlife, what does that mean? Like clubs and different things like that? Or like, what does that encompass?
Nightlife can be anything. It can be, to me, that's my definition at least.
Yeah.
It can be your bar in Hoboken. Okay. It can be a club in the city, or it can be these things that we do a lot in Jersey and New York City, brunches. And what I learned when I started going out and going to brunches just with friends is that brunch is not necessarily at 11 a.m. it could literally be 3, 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And they call it brunch, but a lot of the times it's like a restaurant or a club that will promote an experience once a month or sometimes every week. And they will hire a DJ and they'll hire entertainers like myself or a violinist or a percussionist and dancers, and basically, have reservations and bottle service, and then it's just a giant day party.
I love that. Okay, I have to go back because I know people are always so interested in money. So, what were you, when you graduated college, what kind of job did you get? And then how long did it take you to actually turn what you do now as a performer into your full-time gig?
Sure. So my first job out of college, I worked at a media agency in the city, commuting 2 hours each way.
2?
Yeah, 2.
Were you on the subway and stuff, or what?
So
were you driving?
the subway was over an hour into my commute. I took the NJ Transit all the way from Central Jersey, living with my parents at the time, and I was making $35K at that job.
$35K and traveling 2 hours?
Yep.
I can't.
I did it.
I can't.
I did it because at the time, working for a media agency was what I thought I wanted. I had a really cool client. I worked for MGM Resorts. So it was young, it was fast paced, there were happy hours and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, as much as I thought I wanted that kind of environment, I was tired and I wanted to just go home or go to the gym.
Well, that's the thing too, is I talk to so many people that, especially in marketing, and I think, Raimi, didn't you graduate with a marketing degree?
Yeah, I did. I had a very similar job right after college.
What did you make?
$35K. That was my starting offer, yeah.
See,
but I was in Detroit, Michigan. To make that in New York City, that's a joke.
How do they expect you? You have to live with your parents.
Yeah, I lived with my parents in Detroit.
They're only hiring people living with their parents.
Or parents are paying for an apartment. But I knew from working at that company, if I had stayed at that company, the promotion rates are, pretty high. I think the first one you can make $50K after a year, and then it just keeps going up and whatnot. But I ended up leaving after 6.5 months.
Smart. That's not what you wanted to do. You realize that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I ended up taking a quote unquote safer job in email marketing in the suburbs. Got about 4.5 hours back in my day. I really loved my company and the people I was working with. I felt very welcomed, and I was there for 2.5 years. And I'm very fortunate that I had a lot more free time to devote to my side hustle at that time, which is now my full-time job.
Yeah.
I don't think that I would have been able to make the transition and have the free time to grow my business if I was still commuting and had a much more stressful job.
Yeah,
I had it was very much a 9 to 5 setting at my marketing job.
And that was around what, 50K or so?
Yes. I was towards the end of it, I was making around 50K.
Yeah. And then when did you make the leap to be okay, I'm going to quit this and how do you even build a business to what you have? What's your first gig? Walk us through how you built this business.
Sure. So back in college, I used to post, when Instagram was at the time 15 to 30 second videos, that's all they let you do.
Right. Yeah.
I used to post cover songs. So I made a Jason sax covers and a Jason piano covers Instagram. So I would post videos of me playing a Blink-182 song, a Post Malone, Chainsmokers, and mostly it was just friends following it. So I remember a few years later, one of my friends from home, her sister was getting married and knew that I played piano. So she called me up and was interested in having me play cocktail hour piano for her wedding. And at the time,
oh, so cool.
I had really never been to a wedding. So I thought, being a cocktail hour piano player, I had to prepare an hour-long set list and everybody was going to be watching me. So I practiced. I even bought a new keyboard for that.
Oh, I love this for you.
I bought a keyboard and I practiced and prepared a set and tried to make it so perfect. And then when I got there, I realized
nobody cares about you.
No, people are drinking, having a good time, and cocktail hours, to set the mood for the reception. She also knew I played the saxophone. So she connected me with her DJ because while they walked down for their grand entrance for the wedding, for the reception, she wanted the song Jubel It's a popular like tropical house song
Okay.
that has a saxophone part. She wanted me to play it and kind of like lip sync play it. Like she just wanted like the effect of the saxophone and having me there.
Yeah.
So
wow, she really propelled your right? Like, because that's now like exactly what you do. I mean, obviously with a lot more to it, but that is so cool.
Sargiato family, you guys are the goats.
Shout out. That's so cool.
So I ended up that night connecting with the DJ, and I felt so comfortable. And I ended up staying the entire wedding, just playing the sax along with the DJ. And I was not hired to, but it was my first taste to what wedding music is like. And I was hearing Pitbull songs. I was hearing Bruce Springsteen songs. I was hearing just the classics. And I could just play along to it by ear. And I was like, how can I replicate this feeling again? So that's when I started reaching out to many DJ companies, like I had said earlier. And that's when I started to get booked by companies, and they would sell me to their clients. And I started growing my Instagram more, and then word of mouth spread. And then, fast forward a year or so later, I wanted to, and I was confident that I could find a way to make around 50K, maybe 35 to 40K, playing events and just seeing what happens. Then the pandemic hit.
Oh, yeah.
I kept my job for a little bit longer and was very thankful that at a time that the event industry was at a standstill, I was able to continue to have a paycheck. I'm very fortunate for that. And I still continued to just be patient, build my business on the side. Events came back that summer and fall, and then I made the leap in the fall of 2020.
Nice. I was going to say, when I was reading your bio, it's like he started a company that's like around events in 2020, which is wild. But did you see, like you were booking out, how far in advance would you book out? Or do you book out?
So I used to, just because a lot of DJ companies, when someone gets married, the first things they book are the venue, usually photographer and DJ. And DJ companies, they'll gladly take business 2+ years out, because if it's a bigger company that has the team and staff for employees, they know that they're going to be able to fulfill those duties. For me, it's a little bit different because I get a lot of last minute opportunities too. And I'm very big on keeping my word, because you never know who you're going to run into again. And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
I run into the same people. And for me, my reputation is everything to me. So, if I keep my word and I am booked for a gig, I'm booked for a gig. And for a while, what had happened was I would say yes to something, and then it would get to a point where I would get an offer that not just higher paying, but something, let's say, a travel opportunity.
Yeah, like a little bit better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would have to say no to it. And I've had this I'm very fortunate for it, but it's happened a bunch of times where I've had future brides and grooms who have said, Jason, what is it going to take? We'll outbid the other couple, whatever. Can we just get you? I can't.
Yeah.
And for right now, it's just me. I pretty much just book myself. And I wish I can be in more than one place at one time. But for right now, it's just me. And I kind of like it. I have the autonomy to kind of make my own schedule and have the freedom and flexibility to choose when I work and when I don't.
Do you, so when you're at and performing and stuff, do you, like, I know when I'm at weddings and there's like a performer, I'm always like, take a shot with me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm that girl. So do you get that a lot? And do you drink on the job, or do you kind of like, it's like, I feel like you're in the moment, you're like partying with all the guests and the people. Like, what does that look like for you?
So there definitely is a level of having fun and partying with them, because most of my clients are around my age. In their, I'd say, late 20s to early 30s was my typical client. And a lot of it's friends of friends, which I love, because we'll have mutual friends, and I'll see, friends of mine at these weddings. So it's essentially like I'm going out to the bars with my friends in Hoboken, but I have a sax around my neck and I'm getting paid for it. It's my job. But yes, I do get offered shots a lot, or drinks. And as much as I would love to, most of the time I have to turn it down, because I still know that I have expensive equipment, and God forbid anything happens to it, or I'm a clumsy person just when I'm completely sober walking on the sidewalk. So add alcohol and add a very expensive wedding into the mix with expensive equipment and white wedding dress. God forbid anything happens.
Is that what you wear? I'm just kidding.
I do have a white jacket.
Oh, I got some laughs on that one. Speaking of embarrassing, okay, I told this to you earlier, but I gotta just say it on the podcast. I was at a wedding and I literally kneed a little girl in the face. We were on the dance floor and like I don't know what I was doing. Maybe the Running Man. I don't know. Just bear with me. I do the worm. It's a whole thing. And so I was like doing like a funny pause, and then I went to like put my knee up, and right as I did, she comes running past me, and she went like, you know those videos you see where like kids fall from like dodgeballs? Yep. Like my knee, her head, just straight to the ground, and then the whole entire party like ends, right? Like it's like everyone's like, oh my God, I'll be okay, and everyone's just glaring at me. I'm like, get me out of here. It was awful. But do you have any good, I'm just trying to move on from my embarrassing story, but do you have any good ones from, I'm sure you have a million, but off the top of your head?
Yes. If I have accidentally hit your younger daughter or son with the back of my saxophone, I apologize.
So I'm not the only one.
No, it's common because I most of the weddings I play are I'd say on average 150 people at least. Mm-hmm. So you get 200, 300 people in a packed environment, and some weddings on the invitation there's no children, but some do, and I'm not a tall dude. I'm 5'7", but when you add a heavy saxophone and people that are very close together, and touching each other and pushing in a playful way, you get occasionally a kid that runs up to me and accidentally gets hit in the head. And I always I take a second and I stop and I say, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And then the mom's like, "Billy, get out of here," or whatever. But
no, you apologize.
Yeah, it does happen, and of course, a big thing for weddings and events like that is the drinking. So drinks are on the dance floor all the time, and anytime I see DJs would love this. Anytime that I see a drink that's left on the subwoofer, I immediately just take it off and put it to the side. Because that spills that could ruin the DJ's equipment, but also spills on the dance floor happen all the time. Glasses break. And it's cool for a second to go, "Opa," or whatever. But, people can get hurt. And, these...
You're responsible.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why are you in LA? You're in New Jersey normally, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
So I came out here, honestly, to escape the cold from Jersey, which is, can I curse?
Yeah, curse all you want.
Which is fucking hilarious because it's 55 degrees in Jersey today.
Oh, so it was like, what's the point?
Yeah, essentially. But no, I have some friends from Rutgers who moved out here a few years ago. And the past 2 years, I came out around this month to visit, had an awesome time. I was here for about a week in both cases. And I hated being in Jersey last February because of how cold it was. And even though events still happen year round in New Jersey, I wanted to, because I'm thankful I can make my own schedule, I wanted to take some more time off at a time in my life that I have the freedom and flexibility to do so.
Yeah.
So
yeah, why not?
I got myself, a place for the month. And right before this, I was in Hawaii for 2 weeks. And I've kind of just been doing a mix of chilling, enjoying the stress-free life before the busyness and the craziness of wedding season picks up. But
I love that.
I've also loved being able to connect with some people out here to see how the market is.
Yeah. I saw on your Instagram that you'll go to like a mall, or maybe not a mall, but something that'll have a piano and you can play. Do you like ask somewhere? You just sit down, you're like, "I know I'm fucking good, so I'm just going to play something." How does that work?
So it depends on the place. If it's like a storefront or something like that, and it's a small environment, I'll politely ask and see what they say. But if there's like a bigger hotel that I see and maybe there'll be a rope around it, or, I'll go in, I'll find a hotel that has like a conference room that's, it's pitch black in the dark. I've done this before. It's just like a dark lit room, but they have a piano. Obviously, I shouldn't be in there, but I've played. Because, like, who's going to stop me? And what's the worst they're going to say is just, "Hey, can you please leave?" And they always do it with, like, a smile on their face. So
You're like rocking out because you're so good at it. I was literally like in awe. I was like, how? And you just can listen to, I gotta look at the time because we're gonna make, it's getting close. We're gonna make you, we're gonna make you play something for us. First of all, what's your favorite thing to play? Do you have a favorite song?
Yeah, so I will say for ceremony piano, I love playing like the love ballad stuff. Like my goal is to make the bridesmaids cry. That is my goal. If I get a video back and I see that, that's like I did my job right.
Yeah.
And are they crying because the beautiful song, or are they crying because their best friend is getting married? Who knows?
Who knows? Or they're looking at you and they're like, oh, I wish I could just like be with him.
Yeah. we shall see.
Yeah. Do you ever the bridesmaids?
Ooh.
Sorry, that was too far.
No, I'm gonna say no comment.
No comment.
Just
That's
plead,
a yes.
plead the
That's
fifth.
a yes. Plead the fifth.
My question is just, do you like the movie La La Land?
La La Land. Wait, did you already know this? Did you
What?
guys get this before? La La Land's my favorite movie of all time.
Me too.
No way.
Yeah, well, the music is amazing. So
Yep.
I'm immediately thinking of all the jazz, amazing music in that movie. So
100%.
cool.
Oh, you guys are gonna kill me. I've never seen it, but now
Gotta see it. The first
no.
time I went up to Griffith Observatory last year in the planetarium,
Oh my
I
gosh,
couldn't even believe it.
it's the best. On your Instagram, it says you were on the Jersey Shore.
I was on Jersey Shore family vacation back in 2020.
what were you doing?
I played the sax at Angelina's wedding back in 2019.
Wait, was that the one with the huge fight?
Kind of. Like the speech, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh my god.
kind of. It was probably played up for the TVs, I would assume.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I will say though, I don't want to say too much, but it was awkward in the room. Like
Yeah.
it seemed kind of genuine. A lot of the reactions. I got a sense that it was a little bit tense, and like I tried to stay out of all the drama. I did my thing. I
Right.
partied. I had a great time.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
Was it a fun wedding?
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was they pretty much, it was as Jersey of a wedding as you're gonna get. It was at a very stereotypical Jersey venue that I love playing at. And they pretty much booked every vendor possible. It was just a
Nice.
giant banger.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so yeah, before we get into making you perform for us, where can people find you? Like if they want to book you for something, like give us all the things.
Yes. So my handle across everything is pretty much Essential Jason Nelson. Most of my content is on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, my website, and for my contact form, it's on my website as well.
Perfect. Cool. And now, yeah, I don't know what you want to play, if you want us to just surprise us, but can we get you to play something for us?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
and
awesome.
something I was going to say about, I mentioned ceremony piano. I like to do the love ballads for the saxophone. Like you had mentioned, I specialize in high energy. So I'm playing all the top 40, EDM, mashups, all that kind of stuff. Over the past 2 years, Pepos has been like, one of the great songs to play, because whether you're a house music fan or not, you're gonna know. Yeah,
I did not. I didn't know what it was until you started doing the.
It's in Spanish, and I still don't know the words. I'm horrible with lyrics, but I can play it on the sax.
Heck yeah!
So.
All right, let's do it.
So something I love doing at events is playing like popular song riffs
Okay.
on top of other songs that the DJ is already playing. So perfect example would be when the crowd is at its highest peak energy. I'll go up to all of the dudes, and I'll, in whatever key the song is, I'll play like the Seven Nation Army riff, like the. And then all the dudes will go like, oh. And then also at like peak moments of the night, I'll stand on elevated surfaces and chairs, and usually I'll say to a random dude like, yo, hold my chair so I don't fall. And then like, I'll have the bride and groom come as close as possible, and then we'll play something like Pepos, like. And then something like that, then I'll usually go like. And then it's once again, it's less about actually what I play and more of just bringing the energy and the excitement. So I'll just like throw my hands in the air and just like, vibe.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, can you do a song that everyone will know?
Yeah.
Like a.
Should I do the Careless Whisper riff?
don't know what that is.
Oh, you'll know it.
Okay.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. That's the Sexy Sax Man YouTube video.
Oh, Well, yeah, there's that guy, but then there's also like the epic sax, like the guy that thrusts and goes like. And then there's all those sax riffs, and then people all the time go up to me just because they assume I play the sax, so they assume I know jazz.
Yeah.
And they always just, especially people that are like my parents' age, list these artists and jazz musicians that I've never heard of in my life, and I have to like pretend and go along with them like, yeah, man, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have no idea who they're talking about. I listen to way too much Blink-182 and mainstream shit.
Oh my god, I love it.
Let's go to Blink-182 real quick.
Oh.
Can you do it on this?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
It's not really a sax, but I could do. Let's do. I Miss You. Yeah, let's do. The chorus. I miss you. Seeing them twice this year again.
Oh, me too.
Wait, really?
I'm seeing them in the Spanish June or July. Yeah, I'm seeing them in San Francisco.
Oh, that's sick.
I'm so excited. Wait, okay.
What am I doing?
Oh, nothing. I'm just doing a sign off.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on Down and Dirty with Darci. Can you see us out with a little riff?
Cool. Yeah. Something like that.
Whoa.
Woo!
Bye. See you next week. Something like that. 5 stars on iTunes.
Thanks for listening to that Onomy podcast. Onomy is a creator-led educational platform that teaches you the things you wished you learned in school so you can thrive in adulthood. Onomy lessons are completely free and they're taught by some of your favorite creators from around the internet. Head to onomy.co to start learning about things like budgeting, investing, taxes, how to thrive in your relationships, how to find your dream job, and so much more. That's onomy.co, onomy.co. See you there.